Here we go, folks. Tale from the tree. Number 19. Yeah, which could be a 0. 9 and 1 would be 10. Which is like, sort of fun. Tales from the tree. Where we go? We're going to go now from Chokmah. We're going to go back down to Tiphareth. And of course, we're going to go through that wonderful concept of Doth. And one of the nice things about the original assignation of these pathways, this is the Hierophant, like the Pope, the High Priestess, the leader of the religion, I mean, it's breathing, but it's not breath. That's one of its concepts, breathing and life, but it's not the source of. I mean, it's a real stubborn, real hard-headed, total dogmatic approach. You do it my way or you're going to hell guy. That's this guy, right? Just remember, belief is the death of intelligence, okay? So this guy's stuck on it. And not only does he believe it, he may even not believe it. This is the tricky thing about philosophy and theosophy, see? He may not even believe it. But goddamn, he wants you to believe it so he can get your money, see? So this is a rough card. See? On the way to balance, he has to go through Doth. So, see? Belief, the death of intellect. See? He has to modify his belief. He has to allow it to become knowledge. He has to allow himself a recognition of self on the process of going through Chokmah, which is, that high active but supposedly wisdom. See, he has to be wise enough to take this wisdom, remove the dogma from it, and balance it where he accepts the whole. So this is really a dynamite concept. This is really a nice one. This one's really going to help you get the hang of this and really understand this oneness, this balance. See? Watch. Here we go now. We'll do it the hard way. Here, see? 1 plus 4. That makes 5, right? See? So that's the magician consciousness, plus the emperor, that breastfeeding benefactor. That somehow that turns into dogma. You see? And 2 plus 3. The priestess, the tongue without a throat, that beautiful empress, completion of first family, firstborn, that wonderful feminine consciousness. Creates dogma. You go, how does it create dogma? Well, you've got a passive-passive. You've got a hard passive-passive. Do you see what I mean? In other words, there's no duality, there's no opposition about creating dogma. Then you go, see, but if you go consciousness to the breastfeeding emperor, you do it the opposite way here, the breastfeeding emperor achieving consciousness, all of a sudden this is a much better situation. The same with the empress achieving the intellect and the ability to express herself through the priestess. See, so the inverse, the higher going to the lower, instead of the lower to the higher, creates a more abstract acceptance of others when we deal with it. So this is basically what the Hierophant has to go through, passing through Doth here. See, it cannot be my way or the highway. See, that is not hermetics. The objective is your way surrendering to the higher self way. You see, that's the objective of hermetics. See? The breastfeeding emperor giving up to consciousness, not consciousness giving up to the breastfeeding emperor. So it's a wonderful thing, and he gets down here to Tiphareth. Say, now you have to recognize that the individual having the most difficult time with this is the firstborn, Cain. Adam and Eve, they're, pretty balanced. They're doing pretty good. They're, pregnant again. I mean, they really enjoy this, tree of knowledge. I mean, they're really into it, This is one of the reasons, I'll mention this just because it'll come up in our other class. This is one of the reasons that they deliberate sexuality in regards to contemporary spaces and contemporary intellect. But Anyway, you know, they're getting knocked up again. You know, Cain doesn't know that yet. But Cain's having a hard time with this. Cain's having a harder time than the Hierophant. I mean, Cain is, I mean, his ego is eminent. He's the first human. He's the first human. Or at least he's the first made by beings, you see. Adam and Eve were made by the concept of God. Cain was fulfilled by the joining of his mother and father. He thinks he's King Tut. I mean, if he wants something, he gets it. I mean, he is the boss. Boy, he has a hard time right here. He has a hard time right here. And they get down to Tiphareth, and Mom and Dad are trying to explain to him. Now look, you've got to bend a little bit. We've got to teach you how to survive, and we're not even very good at it yet ourselves. You know, because just a few months ago, we didn't have to worry about anything. And he goes, well, that's what you're supposed to do to me. I mean, your father fixed it where you didn't have to worry about anything. Why the hell can't you do that for me, see? So Cain is a peculiar little individual here. We play with that concept a lot. We get down here into Tiphareth, and he's not necessarily the happy camper when he's being told that he's not always going to get what he wants, see? You know, I mean, he's sitting down and he's, you know, I mean, things, they have no shame yet. They have, well, I mean, yeah, they may wear a fig leaf and stuff like that, but that's, you know, biblical concept of shame. They don't really have much shame. You know, so Cain probably actually sees him procreating. And he's going, oh, I got one of them like Daddy, and I see where it goes. Why can't I put that in Mommy? You see, you run into some real heavy situations here, and that's why in occultism, until an individual is well on their path, we sort of denigrate the concept of abusive sexuality. We play with that concept of Cain a little bit. We got a wonderful concept of ego here, having to go through this little death. Little death. Little death. Little death. At some point we'll explain that concept to you a lot better. Now you all have fun with this one.